Tripod ready. What's up, YouTube? My name's Ray Liv. You're watching BlanketFaced TV's News by the Minute. Today's episode is going to be kind of interesting because I'm by myself. I'm probably going to be editing this on my phone. What's that other one? Oh, and it's probably going to be kind of short. But you can't expect much yet because we only have 2 episodes up, so deal with it. Now, with that being said, let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about today is the Powerball. Yes, the Powerball. I'm sure you've heard enough about it by now, but I still want to talk about it. So there were 3 winners, one being Chino Hills, California, Munford, Tennessee, and Melbourne, Florida. Personally, I'm just happy that Florida's not in the news for something ridiculously crazy for once. So let's start with the Munford, Tennessee winners. The family went on the Today Show before they even decided to cash in their ticket, or verify their ticket, that is. It was kind of ballsy considering they had to go all the way back to New York and had to fly all the way back down to Tennessee afterward, and they had to walk through New York City without getting mugged. The winners were the Robinson family. They went on the Today Show with their daughter, their lawyer, and their lawyer's daughter. The father, John Robinson, was actually on his way home from work. He didn't want to stop at the grocery store, but his wife kind of sort of talked him into it. He picked 4 tickets, single play, and it just so happened that one of them won. Now for the Florida winner out of Melbourne Beach. The winner was a 32-year-old military widow named Candace Withers. Candace claims she never plays the Powerball, but while she was picking up bread and milk, she caved in and decided to buy one. She's a mother of 4 and decided to pick the numbers based off dates that meant the most to her. 4, 8, 19, 27. The 4 birthdays over 4 children. And 34 was picked because that was the age of her husband Derek when he passed away. Candace says she's very happy because she'll finally be able to feed her children very easily. She also wants to buy a house for her children and her mother. She says her children have moved around too much in their lifetime and they finally deserve a nice steady home. It feels good to see someone who's gone through so much finally prosper in some way. Finally, the Chino Hills, California winner. So far, there's been no claim by the real ticket holder. However, there have been many hoaxes. One of the most notable was one that came out the night after the Powerball of a pro skater. He claimed he was going to share the money with people who retweeted his tweet on Twitter, giving each $1,000. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did retweet this. I thought, why not? It's free money. Granted, it ended up being false, but it was worth a try. Many people claim that his ticket looked photoshopped, mostly because there was only one line. Next, I want to talk about the GOP and Democratic debates. Even if you don't follow politics, they were so ridiculous in some points that they were just a good laugh. Let's start with the GOP, shall we? So Cruz argued with Trump, Trump argued with Cruz, even Rubio and Christie got some shots in at each other. Many people have been talking about Cruz isn't actually eligible to run, and the GOP of course brought this up during the debate. Cruz rebutted with how Donald Trump isn't actually able to run himself if that were the case, seeing how his mom's from Scotland, and Rubio's parents are not from the United States of America either. Cruz also claimed that if what had happened with our sailors recently happened while he was in office, they would feel the full force of the United States. Rubio and Christie kind of went at each other, going back and forth, but at the same time were buddy-buddy, saying that the other could have vice presidency if they won. Even Jeb low-key asked for vice presidency, seeing how his chances are kind of dwindling right now. One of the most notable things, to me at least, was how Cruz called out Donald Trump for not being good enough because he was a New Yorker, and Donald Trump replied with how New Yorkers are great after what they went through with 9/11, and he was a part of that. Interestingly enough, Trump didn't actually donate any money to 9/11 victims or any of the efforts to help build up, but whatever. Now to the Democratic debate. As expected, Hillary and Bernie kind of went at it, and O'Malley sat back and complained about not getting enough time to speak. Bernie still believes that $15 an hour is a good thing, and Hillary is still clutching on to believing Obama's ways are the best, despite having run against him 8 years ago and saying his policies were terrible. The 3 or 2 went back and forth about how Hillary does too much on Wall Street, and Bernie still has a really funny accent. As of currently, the polls still show that Hillary has a strong lead at 59%, Sanders at 34%, and O'Malley at only 2%. Next, I want to talk about the Oscar outrage. Director Spike Lee and Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, are currently boycotting the ceremony. They're saying that it's too white. Last year, all 20 nominations for Best Actor and Actress, Supporting Actor and Actress were white. This year, they happened to follow suit. This got the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite trending once again. Even host Chris Rock called the Oscars the white BET Awards, which is kind of odd considering they're white, but the host is black. And there were actually some movies that were nominated starring black people. However, none of the leading or supporting actors that were black were picked. Another interesting thing is that no one really seems to think about the fact that BET stands for Black Entertainment Television. If we had WET, or WET, for White Entertainment Television, everyone would be outraged. But then again, Sam Smith did win a BET Award recently, and Justin Bieber has in the past, so I guess they're trying. Maybe they're just afraid that putting a black actor in there might lessen the chance of Leo finally winning. Finally, I want to talk about death. Death is hard. It strikes fast and it cuts deep. Earlier last week we lost icon David Bowie, and recently we've also lost the great Severus Snape, Alan Rickman himself, as well as Grizzly Adams, Dan Haggerty. First I want to take a second to talk about Alan Rickman. He's been an idol to many people throughout his life and passed away with pancreatic cancer at the age of 69. With many things in his life he kept it kind of to himself and under the wraps, but it caught up to him. Rickman's known for many of his great works, from Harry Potter, Sweeney Todd, Die Hard, Galaxy Quest, Pride and Prejudice, Robin Hood, and Love Actually. He was loved by many, and he's changed a lot of lives. He always played the bad guy, but made the character so lovable. Rickman will be missed by many, and it's really hard to see someone go away that's really so young. 69 is really not as old as you think. Rickman's last two movies are Eye in the Sky and Alice in Wonderland Looking Through the Glass. Alice in Wonderland will be his final film that he features in. He'll be playing the Blue Caterpillar, voice that is. Next I want to speak on Dan Haggerty, also known as Grizzly Adams. A close friend of his named Terry Bomar confirmed that there was cancer in his spine, and that's how he passed away at the age of 73. Many came to love the character of Grizzly Adams. It's crazy to think of how much of a splash he made in so many people's lives. It's kind of funny how he all came to be. The director asked him if he wanted to do the opening scenes for a movie. Haggerty responded that he would only do it if he could do the entire movie instead. The movie was made for $165,000 and ended up grossing over $30 million. The movie, The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams, was then adapted to a TV show, which many came to love. Many say that celebrity deaths come in threes, and I guess those people were correct this last week with Bowie, Rickman, and Haggerty. I would also like to take a quick minute to talk about something that hits close to home. A student at UF was found having passed away in his car this last week. It is said that there was no foul play. It's also suspected that it was a suicide. I just want to take a quick minute to say that if you're ever thinking about this, don't. It's not the way to go. There are many other ways that you can get around this, many ways to get through it. There are a lot of people that care about you and they're willing to talk to you. Whether it's your family or your friends, there's also agencies and people at your school that would love to talk to you and get you better. Trust me, this isn't the way to go about it. Here at UF, we have the You Matter, We Care movement. Something that takes students when they're down and brings them up a little bit. Someone that's always there to talk to them, someone that's always there to care about them when they feel like there's no one else around them. I'm sure at every school they have this, whether it's a high school or a college, or even a younger school if that may be your case. There are also many local agencies around wherever you live, I'm sure, that will help you. Taking your life is not the way, I promise you that. Please never be afraid to speak up. There's always someone that's there. And if nothing else, you can email us at blanketfaceproductions@gmail.com and I'll happily answer your questions. Or just talk to you if that's what you need. With that being said, thank you for watching. My name's Ray Oliva. This is BlanketFaced News by the Minute.